In 1995, the federal government reintroduced wolves to the West. For the 30th anniversary, I embarked on a 1,000-mile journey through wolf country. I talked to the people who brought wolves back, ranchers who fought the controversial program, and experts who say wolves are in trouble again. I'm Heath Drusen, and I hope you'll listen to Howl from Boise State Public Radio and the Idaho Capital Sun. Find it everywhere you get podcasts.
From Boise State Public Radio, this is The Connector, Idaho Daily News. Good morning, or good afternoon, no judgment. I'm Julie Liqueta, and it's Monday, June 16th. Today, we'll give you details on a summer school program to combat childhood hunger and have a report on new research challenging beliefs on the rising number of trees in the West. We'll also have a roundup of this week's weather, which turns out is not going to be quite as hot as last week. But first, a dispatch from the No King protest at the state capitol steps on Saturday, where thousands of Idahoans gathered peacefully to protest the Trump administration's policies. That's today on The Connector. Thanks for joining me right here in the studios of Boise State Public Radio. On Saturday, thousands of people gathered in front of the State House steps in Boise to protest the Trump presidency. They joined millions across the country marching in, quote, No King protests, organized to counter what is perceived as authoritarian actions from the administration. No King! No King! No King! Holding American flags and signs pushing back against ICE raids, police violence, and threats to veteran benefits, Social Security, public lands, and due process, the protest drew a crowd of about 4,000.
A moment of silence and reflect on what America really means to you.
Speaker Adrian Evans called to defend democracy through empathy.
Authoritarianism doesn't start with tanks. It starts with abandonment, with communities being told they don't matter, with people being divided until we forget that we're on the same side.
Attendee Kelly Rumbaugh denounced immigration raids.
Parents being ripped away from their children, it's not right.
Holding a picture of her family, she says she's scared to protest in the current political climate.
I'm fearful for my granddaughters and my daughter. I won't be around.
William Mullane says he's concerned about what he says are attacks on the rule of law and saddened by international students being kicked out of the country.
This has to go along with that hard work in the trenches of getting people out to vote and speaking to people, about what their concerns are.
Veteran Joe Legue says he's attended about half a dozen similar gatherings out of solidarity.
It's a sense of duty. I think that's hopefully what it means to a lot of people that show up down here.
The protest in Boise wrapped up peacefully. After the crowd dispersed, about 200 protesters carrying Palestinian flags and wearing keffiyehs stayed back and condemned the war in Gaza. These nationwide protests were in part a response to the Trump administration's increased raids to deport immigrants. The White House deployed the National Guard and U.S. Marines to Los Angeles this past week. California Governor Gavin Newsom called the move reckless escalation. As of Sunday evening, the Wasco County Sheriff's Office reports the fire along the Columbia River Gorge in Oregon between Rowena and the Dalles has burned 56 residential buildings and 91 additional structures, including sheds, barns, and shops. Oregon Public Broadcast reports the human-started fire has burned about 4,000 acres, with thousands of people still under an evacuation order. A 68-year-old man died while in the custody of the Caldwell police on Saturday. According to a press release from the city, officers and paramedics responded to a medical emergency regarding a man in distress threatening to jump off a balcony. Shortly after officers restrained him and placed him in handcuffs, the man lost consciousness. The report says officers removed the handcuffs and fire personnel started life-saving measures, which were unsuccessful. The cause of death is currently unknown. The Critical Incident Task Force will be conducting an investigation with the Nampa Police Department as the primary investigative agency. An Owyhee County Sheriff's deputy killed a man in Bruno on Sunday morning. The officer shot the man after responding to a call at a residence. KTVB reports the sheriff's office said the man was brandishing a rifle. He was pronounced dead at the scene and the officer was not injured. KTVB reports the Critical Incident Task Force will also be investigating the shooting. As the summer kicks off, communities in Idaho are offering free lunch programs in an effort to reduce childhood hunger. Jackson Holmes has more.
For many families in Idaho, the end of the school year brings uncertainty about food. Data from the Idaho Food Bank shows more than 12% of the state experiences food insecurity. That's why free summer feeding programs offer breakfast and lunch to anyone 18 and younger. Meals are funded by the USDA's Summer Nutrition Programs for Kids, or SUN program, which requires no application process for families or students. In the Treasure Valley, both the Boise School District and West Ada School District will have grab-and-go meals available. These are offered with no questions asked and are available at schools and city parks across both districts. The Ada County Boys and Girls Club will provide meals at its Meridian, Garden City, and Kuna locations. Blaine County will provide breakfast and lunch beginning June 23rd. Those meals will be available at Alturas Elementary Monday through Friday. And in Lewiston, breakfast and lunch are available at Sacagawea Middle School. Jackson Holmes, Boise State Public Radio News.
And now, a quick weather update. Boise today will be sunny with some clouds here and there, high 86, low 57. Lewiston, also sunny and cloudy, high 88, low 59. McCall will see a high of 72, low 47, with a 25% chance of rain. It will be partly cloudy in Coeur d'Alene with a high of 81, low 56. Twin Falls, also kind of sunny, also kind of cloudy with a high of 86, low 59. Pocatello has a 20% chance of rain today and will be mostly cloudy with a high of 83, low 52. Haley, a spot of clouds as well with a high of 79 and low 48. And finally, Salmon has a 35% chance of rain with a high of 79 and low 48. New research challenges long-held beliefs that the rising concentration of trees in the West are due to human activity. As the Mountain West News Bureau's Caleb Radel reports, the findings have implications for how these lands are managed.
For years, ecologists believed the growing density of woodland trees was caused by more than a century of fire suppression and livestock grazing, starting in the mid-1800s when Europeans colonized the West. But a new study from the University of Nevada, Reno found that isn't the case. Lead researcher Bob Shriver examined pinyon juniper trees in the Great Basin and Colorado Plateau.
Trees have actually been increasing for the most part since 1600, so about 400 years, and we're just seeing a continuation of that. But the process sort of accelerates over time because as you get more trees, it's easier for the populations to expand rapidly.
Federal land managers have prioritized removing pinyon juniper trees because they think their density is unnatural. Shriver says that isn't true, and removing trees won't slow the rate of expansion. He adds that pinyon juniper establishment rates are near their lowest point in 400 years due to climate change, and land managers should plan for a decline in woodland trees. For the Mountain West News Bureau, I'm Caleb Radel.
And that's your Connector for Monday, June 16th, 2025. Thanks for listening. We are a publicly funded organization, and you might have heard that the House just voted to cut our federal funding through the Corporation for Public Broadcast, and the decision is now headed to the Senate. Honestly, public media is under threat now more than ever. If you value our work for yourself, your family, your friends, and your community, and you want to help us, please consider checking out protectmypublicmedia.org. You'll find information on how funding works and what you, at your level, can do to support and protect public media across the country. I mean, genuinely, we cannot do this without you. So thank you for your help. And thanks for listening to Boise State Public Radio, a true labor of love. Our general manager is Tom Michael. Our news director is Sasha Woodruff. Lacey Daly is our digital strategy manager. And I'm Julie Luqueta, filling in for George Prentice, who will, mercifully for my sleep schedule, be back on our airwaves tomorrow morning. Praise be. I hope you have a great day. Cheers.